Baseball. Come on, baseball. Baseball. Hey. All right, here we are. Yeah, we're going to talk about one of my passions I've enjoyed in life is the sport of baseball. And we're not just talking about major league. Well, we'll be talking a little bit about the major leagues because they made news today, earlier today, about almost 12 hours ago. They made some news, and I thought I'd just come on and just rant about it and how it's affecting uh, how it's affecting uh, how it's going to affect how we're going to watch baseball in my market, basically. All right, let's go back many years with the minor league system. The minor league system was based out of 160 some odd teams, just just basically just got changed today. Uh, about 40 teams got cut today from the major leagues minor league system because of the new contracts, new agreement. So they downsized a lot of minor league teams, and we will. The team that I support here in town where I live is one of the teams that got cut. I'll explain the situation on this. How's that going to affect how we're going to watch baseball live if this coronavirus ends soon and all that stuff. So this is why I'm passionate with the sport of baseball, and I'll give you my final thoughts. What if we were going to even attend other games? But we'll let you guys know on that part. Uh, the minor league system, the way we know it in this market, and about 160 other markets, which has got cut down to about 120, 119 to 120 as of today. So a lot of teams lost their minor league baseball, and it affects the communities they're in because they contribute millions of dollars to the local economy when it comes to visiting players, home players that rents apartments, buying food at local stores, and after a game is over or a game gets rained out or an off day, places where they go for entertainment like bowling centers, movie theaters, if they're of age, casinos, if they're really of age, maybe a local watering hole, something like that. But than other activities that they may have to rent. Let's say if they go fishing, they may want to rent a boat or something like that. It just adds more money to the local economy. Basically, some of these players really don't make a whole lot of money. The ones that does make a lot of money, they have signing bonuses and all that stuff. Uh, basically, as I've been a fan of my local minor league team since 1972. I was really not, I was about 4 years old at the time. And the manager we had in town was a Hall of Fame manager, Jim Leyland. In fact, Jim Leyland was where we live. Jim Leyland was it was his first managing gig in the minor league system that he was asked to manage. And somehow he got good, he got better, and he became a Hall of Famer in the major leagues. He's also one of the head guys that behind the scenes that makes the instant replay, basically help with the instant replay. Because he's not a real screamer or yeller. He goes out, talks to the umpire with reason and all that stuff. He's always been respected. If he was really upset, they'll let the umpire know. And when he does it, he's going to get ejected. But he goes out there with reason, point his statement, and heads back, basically. But that's why he got respected. But yeah, Jim Leyland got his first managing job right where I live. Basically, that was in 1972, and I was starting to attend those games. Now, the whole deal with the minor league system is we're basically a community of whoever had a minor league baseball team under the player development agreement, where basically they sign usually they sign a 2-year, a 4-year, or a 6-year deal with a major league team, and that major league team assign players to whatever levels of baseball there is. Right now, we don't know what levels that major leagues are going with. They originally had what they call rookie ball, short season. They had what they call extended spring training, which is short season A. They had short season A ball that starts around June, late June, mid to late June. Then it goes all the way to September. Then they had a full season low A. Then they had a full season high A. They had a double A and triple A. So you got like 6 levels. But basically, two of them is about identical. The low A and high A is 2 different levels. It's just an advanced level of high A. High A is considered an advanced level, while basically low A full season is considered like rookie league almost, but it's a full season basically. So they only got like 1 or 2 seasons under their belts as a professional player, and they started developing. Coaches has to make sure that all the players got their at bats. They got their at bats. They have their fielding, and the pitchers will do a pitch count or work on some pitches and control. So they work on their strengths and on weaknesses. So basically, most of them will work on the strengths, and sometimes we'll try to improve on some of the weaknesses in that. Also, this is where the umpires learn their trade too, because the umpires are really almost right out of college, maybe out of high school, out of college. This is maybe one of the jobs that they're looking into. And if they're lucky, they make the major league level, and they can make a nice career, and they be as blind as a bat as Joe West and Angel Hernandez or something like that. So, and our blind umpires in the major league level still should not be, and still umping to this day, even with the coronavirus. Okay, like I said, I've been known as this affiliate state situation. From when I was growing up, we had like when I was growing up and started watching baseball, we had the Detroit Tigers, we had the LA Dodgers, we had the New York Giants, we had the Montreal Expos, we had the Cincinnati Reds, we had the San Diego Padres, we had the I'm trying to remember here. We had the Texas Rangers, we had the Seattle Mariners, and we finished up with only one season, and we only had one season with them because we didn't play last year because of coronavirus, was with the Miami Marlins and that. So, yeah. So that was not good at all. The league that got not shelled. I thought they were going to get shelled big time, but not as bad as I thought. But it is going to get reconfigured. The league that we play in is the Midwest League. Hey, Toys for Twats, how you doing? What's up? Baseball talk. We lost our developmental baseball team. If you're familiar with our regular vlogs, we lost our developmental baseball team. But that does not mean it's the end of baseball in town. I want to explain other situation here. But watching the benefits of having a minor league team, affiliated team, is basically when the team send the players to those towns, they assign those players, they make constant roster changes throughout the season. They move players up, they move players down based on their skill level. If their skill level is pretty good, they move them up as high as possibly. If they're really, really good, they'll go. Sometimes I've seen it myself. I'll use one ball player, for example. It was Albert Pujols, where he basically came to low A baseball. He played a few games. Yep, Lumber Kings. That's my home team. Yep, the Clinton Lumber Kings got cut. I'll just come out right now. My home team, the Clinton Lumber Kings, got cut. The Burlington Bees got cut. The two biggest surprises that I was shocked to hear was Kane County got cut, but they kept Beloit, Wisconsin. Reason they kept Beloit because they got a brand new stadium. That's why they kept Beloit. So they ended up cutting Kane County. And if I know the Kane County Stadium, it's a nice stadium, nice setup, and that one drawback west of the stadium, something called a landfill. So that kind of turned off Major League Baseball with the neighbor of that stadium. Basically, that's why they turned off. And reason was our market was just too was not too small. They said it was not drawn well and all that stuff. But a lot of teams across the United States got cut. Like about 42 teams got cut today. Was to 42 towns. That's about in their local economies. That's about anywhere from $5 to $7 million they're going to lose to their local economies. Not because of the ball, not because the home players are renting, not renting apartments in those communities, but visiting teams spends money on hotels if they see a nice hotel and all that. Basically, you heard the Field of you just heard a commercial for Field of Dreams. Yeah, we went to a Field of Dreams last summer. Excuse me here. Then you got the scouts that comes in around June to the trade deadline. The scouts will come in, they'll spend like let's say a 4-game series or an 8-game homestand. They'll spend like money on hotel rooms, restaurants, and all that stuff in a community. You got the umpires, you got other staff, other media from other teams will come in, will spend money. TV media will come in, will film highlights of that. Maybe a YouTuber will come film a game, and they're going to spend money there too, at the ballpark or locally around other stores and that. So the money spreads out, and that's a lot of money. Then you got those out of town fans, the loyal out of town fans that follows the team, just like to follow the team. Clinton, for us, we had a good following that will travel to other towns around the league and will watch the Lumber Kings at other communities like Cedar Rapids, Davenport. Angie and I made a road trip to Fort Wayne, Indiana for a baseball game back in the day and that. Yeah, they do help the local economy because our economy, according to our local mayor, estimated that we could lose $6 million in revenues to the city because of no developmental baseball and that. But it's not the end of the world for the Lumber Kings and other minor league baseballs because there is two other leagues out there. I think one is the Prospect League, and I think it's either the Frontier League or the Northern League. It's got to be a wood bat league that has ties to Major League Baseball, but doesn't really send. They don't. It's not affiliation baseball, but they'll just recommend players to come play in these leagues to sharpen their skills in case of there's injuries in the minor league system. They can come in and tap out these players and go and sum them up, and also gives us the ability to draft our own players. Basically, maybe draft a few players ourselves to keep our team, in check. Maybe we can draft a popular player that's maybe likes to play and stay in this town. I mean, we got former players that actually stays in Clinton and other communities too. So it helps the local economy like big time. And that, especially a former player will just say, you know what, I'm done playing, but I like this community. I'm going to be part of the community from here on out. One guy who came from Cuba, who played minor league ball, had a little taste of major league ball, but when his playing days is done, he came back to Clinton and opened up a what they call it a mission, basically, which is basically it's like a homeless shelter, and that he got involved helping out the homeless, get them back on their feet, get them back on the job market or something like that. Just kind of help them out. He's been doing it for nearly the last 40 years since he quit his playing days. So, and I mean, he had to quit his playing days probably in his 30s or something like that. But Yeah, so he has like a charity mission right here in town, and it's one of the biggest ones in our area. So uh, that was good for him. He was trying to help out some people, unfortunate people, and he does go help out other people of his own community, the Cuban community, because he's originally from Cuba, and other Spanish speaking uh, people trying to get him adjusted to American life and all that stuff. And it's just basically just help out people in need, not just foreigners, but also Americans too who needs help. He does that that was after his playing days, so there was some benefits there. There's also players that after they get done playing at their regular season, they will donate their vehicles or bicycles or whatever to local charities, and maybe sell a vehicle to someone cheap, or maybe have somebody they think they're coming back next year. They say, "Hey, here's your vehicle. Uh, here's a vehicle. I think I'm coming back next year. If I'm not, I'll let you know, and they'll come back and pick it up." They'll just kind of watch out and that. So and that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but yeah, it's just but now, as of today, when Major League Baseball and the commissioner, which I think he's kind of a hypocrite in a way because he helped in a way to when he first broke in as a commissioner, he was able to get the minor league system up to its current level of 160 teams, 161, 62 teams, somewhere in that neighborhood. There was a lot of minor league teams, a lot of talent to spread out. But the reason he basically announced these last year at the end of our baseball season in 2019. That's when he announced potential cuts. We knew they were coming during when we was filming the playoffs, the Midwest League Championship Series between the Clinton Lumber Kings, my team that I've been following since 1972. Basically, not with the same name. We had that name since 1996, all the way up to when they lost to the 3-game sweep to the South Bend Cubbies, and that. So that was pretty good here. I think Toys for Twice, you kind of left a little soon because now, what's the future of the Lumber Kings as of right now, and what's the future for like say Kane County Cougars or any other minor league team that you may have lost out there? If you guys lost a minor league team to this, leave it down in the comments down below. If you're just catching it live right now, put it on the side chat right now. What have it affected? Have you lost your minor league team? Is your minor league team safe? And that I know there was a lot of surprises. There was teams that were expected to get cut, they got saved, and teams that was not supposed to get cut end up getting cut anyway for other reasons and other reasons. So maybe like that. Like I said, Kane County, it was the only Chicago developmental team, and I remember the Cubs and the White Sox was against that team for have developmental baseball. Now it's going to have to fall back to either some form of independent ball with some ties to the major leagues. Okay, if we do here's that's something I'm going to worry about right here. It says the minor league system, the way I grew up on, where I can basically I watched players like Albert Pujols that played against the Lumber Kings or against my team, or let's say Jose Canseco. That was the last time we won a league title where we beat Jose Canseco and the Madison's Muskies, another former Midwest League team now playing in another league. Basically, I don't know what league they're playing in, if they even got a pro team at all up in Madison, Wisconsin. We beat, Jose, and we had Solomon Torres on our squad, on that 91 squad. If anybody who doesn't know who Solomon Torres is, that was the pitcher that cracked the brim of Sammy Sosa's helmet. Remember Sammy Sosa of the Cubs? Yeah. Solomon Torres threw a high pitch right at Sammy Sosa, broke the bill off that helmet. Literally cracked it clean off. I'm hoping to find this clip of it on YouTube someplace. It was a scary sight that changed Sammy Sosa for life because he was not the same player after that incident. Basically, so we had Salomon Torres. It was one of the hottest pitchers we had at the time when we won our last when we had won our last league championship in the minor league system. Basically, I've seen players like Orel Hershiser, the Sachs brothers, Matt Williams, Mitch Moreland. There's like a lot of players. I just can't think of the name. Sega. I don't know, Kyle Sega or Zelda Sega, but one of the Segas that played for the Seattle. There was a Sega that it was the Sega that had the bald eagle land on his shoulder during the national anthem at I think it's at Yankee Stadium. It was that player that we had, and they made a special bobblehead. Commemorative bobblehead. Here, let me show you that bobblehead. I got it right now. So let me show you that bobblehead real quick. Let me be it back here. This is awesome. This is a great bobblehead, and that because Seattle made this for them. No, it's not Sega. It was James Paxton. My bad. It was James Paxton, not Sega. It was James Paxton that had the bald eagle land on his eagle. But check out this. This is the bobblehead. This is what basically Seattle made a bunch of bobbleheads, and Clinton Lumber Kings asked for I don't know how many they end up getting from the Lumber Kings, but first 750 fans at our ballpark got one of these about almost 4 years ago. I would say about 4 years ago. But yeah, there's the bald eagle on his shoulder. That was James Paxton, not Sega, basically. And he ended up playing with the New York Yankees for a while, but I think he's still playing in the majors. But yeah, that's another nice bobblehead we had. Tyler O'Neill was another one that we had. He's with the St. Louis Cardinals, as far as I know. But yeah, I'll fix that later. The eagle came off on that bobblehead and that, so I'll fix that later. I'm just looking for another bobblehead that we had. We had Ian Kinsler. We had Kyle Sager. It was Kyle Sager we had. Ian Kinsler. We had Dave Stewart. We had all kinds of them. I got all kinds of bobbleheads from former players. And that. Sorry about that. I had to walk off there. So, and that. Sorry about that. But yeah. Okay, like I said, a lot of great games we saw, a lot of good talent we saw, and believe it or not, hard to believe this, even with this apartment complex that we live in, believe it or not, we used to have the when the players used to rent up here at our apartments, we had the #1 draft pick for the Seattle Mariners right across the hall from us for the one season back in 2016. It was Alex Jackson. He was the #1 draft pick by the Seattle Mariners, who got traded to the Atlanta Braves. I don't know if he's still with the Atlanta Braves organization as it is now, but that was a great. I could have just bugged him for autographs. The guy was a jerk getting signed autographs, but if I knew he was one of my neighbors, I could have just bugged him for about 3 more autographs. I just needed 3 more autographs of him. That's all we needed was 3 more on other stuff, because we had a card for somebody that needed signed real quick, and we couldn't do it, but we didn't know he was one of our neighbors till the final week of the season. Unbelievable. And yeah, we should have known better, but we knew it was players across the hall and that. And that was another thing. I think that was another thing the major leagues was looking at, the housing issue. Everybody's going to have a housing issue when it comes to these players nowadays, because the way landlords want to rent out and all that stuff. So that would be another issue. That's another issue for another day, for another subject. For people who has more knowledgeable in that situation, there was a adopt a player program where a player were basically a family were taking a player into their own home to rent out their one bedroom. Maybe like a family who had kids move out because they were off to college or went off to have their own families. They got extra space, and it's a good way to make a little extra revenue from and just rent out their former kids' bedrooms. Basically, when the kids all they grew up, move out, they just redecorated it and just rented out to a couple players, basically, in that. So that was a great way to make some extra revenues for some families. Rent out. So yeah, that helped out some families because they don't have to rent as much, basically, because they're only renting their bedroom, and all they had to do is just make sure they had their own food supply, and maybe occasionally help pay a bill or something like that, or maybe pay one bill, or just slip every time they take a shower or something like that. It's just like slip a few bucks just for the use of water or something like that. I don't know how that worked out, but right now that don't know that's going to continue on that. Like I said, it's as a baseball fan, it's not the news I wanted to hear. But like I said, every cloud has a silver lining. Now, like I said, there is other leagues out there. There's called a like I said, developmental baseball. The chance of seeing a player, let's say the 2019 squad. That was a good squad. We went to the league championship game. We got swept by the South Bend Cubbies. This is the old Midwest League, the way it was. I'm going to say the way it was or not. And basically, it comes down to about 5% of that team will see some form of major league action. Now, 27 players on that roster. You're talking about 5% can make the major leagues in some form, either a few games, 1 or 2 games, or a career. As long as they start a major league game, they are eligible to be a major league player because they played in a major league game, at least one game. Basically, that was it. So that's the way we see it and all that. So that was in a way. And comes down to also now when we go to these other leagues, this is where the odds drop. Even if they do bring in major league talented players, they still are talented players, but they're not assigned by a major league team. They're just brought in by major league players that got cut, and they recommend they go into these leagues to play in these leagues, like the Frontier League or what they call the Prospect League, where they actually they got a bunch of player pool. They're going to have a bunch of players going looking for places to play. So that's where these teams that lost teams, they can form their own leagues and all that stuff. All right, 167 Scott, how you doing? And that. So yeah, it was a sad situation as a baseball fan myself, but I gotta look at the positives. Is this by losing developmental baseball and watching drafted players develop and move on to greater stuff, going to the major leagues. Now we're going to be relegated down to what kind of players we're going to have. Are they going to be good enough? They're still good enough to play the game, but they're going to be with what they call MLB Partnership League, which is basically it's a partnership with another league where basically, like I said, when the developmental players are starting to get when major league players are starting to get hurt, the minor league players are getting hurt during the season. They don't stay healthy all season. They're lucky, knock on wood, but they have to find a player to replace them, either through the minor league system or they come to these prospect leagues and just pluck a player out, and they'll assign them to that. We just got word our town will still have minor league. That's good for you. Bad news for us. We lost our minor league team. We call the Clinton Lumber Kings. That's where I live, Clinton, Iowa. Clinton Lumber Kings. My league that we play in is the Midwest League. Our league we play in is the Midwest League. We lost 3 teams. 2 was expected to be cut, which was Lumber Kings and the Burlington Bees. And I was surprised that Kane County Cougars got cut. That's outside of Chicago. That's a Chicago team. They got cut. They draw like almost 800,000 fans a game. Not 800,000 800,000 fans a season. Just a season. 800,000 fans a season. And they cut them. And what they kept, Beloit, Wisconsin. Reason Beloit was able to keep they have lower attendance than us. They're like half the attendance that we do, but yet the only reason they kept their minor league team was they're opening up a brand new stadium, and that they're opening a brand new ballpark. That's why they was able to keep Beloit Snappers in the Midwest League. I also heard Jacksonville got cut. I don't know if it's I don't think it's in Florida. It's another town in Kentucky that got cut and everything else. Yeah, that's good because there was a lot of teams that was on the bubble and it went their way. And a lot of teams said, okay, it's a breeze. We got it made. We don't have nothing to worry about. Found out today they got cut. So there was a lot of surprises in that. And like I said, I talked earlier in this video, developmental baseball is for a local economy, like for us, is like a $5 to $6 million economy, where it's basically where you got home teams will have to rent apartments. And I tell you the truth here, back in 2016, I just got done talking about this when you popped in. We had a number 1 draft pick right across the hall from us back in 2016, Alex Jackson of the Seattle Mariners, now playing for the Atlanta Braves as the last I know on it. He was traded to Atlanta Braves. That's the last I knew. He was popping in and out of the major leagues throughout the season, 2019 season, I think it was. So, and he was a real jerk getting autographs. But if I knew he was one of my former neighbors, I could have bugged him for more than that. But yeah, we had like 4 or 5 players that lived right across the hall from us, and the other half of the building had 2 more, and another part of the complex we had 3 more there. So that was pretty good. And last players that rented up here was in 2017, where I ended up getting Joe Rizzo's autograph, and we got Bat basically, and a couple other players too. That was really good. And then visiting teams, when they come to eat at local restaurants, umpires eat at local restaurants, stays at local hotels. The hotel motel tax is going to take a small hit. Not because they didn't take a hit already because they didn't play last year because of coronavirus. But if they do resume to play, they still take a small financial hit in a way until they get this new league going. But losing developmental baseball, chances of seeing a major league player develop in front of your eyes and see him in the major leagues. I mean, you take one roster, and boom, it's 5% of whatever team you're on, even your team that you're watching. 5 chances of seeing a major league star, or at least a few players. 5% of that 5% of that team, and you talk about a 27-man roster, and you talk about maybe 5% can make the majors in some form or another. over the years as they develop. Your complex could have your own team. Well, yep. That's right. Our own complex. Actually, in 2016, out of 27 players, 15 of them lived up here. Basically, 15 of them lived up here where we live, and the rest lived around town. Basically, so yeah, if we that's there's so basically there's your lineup. There's your starting lineup and reserve players and a few starting pitchers and a couple pitchers for one game in that. So your starting 9 and your few pitchers and a couple backup players just in case one gets ejected or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, we have 15 players up here at one year in 2016, maybe 2016, 2015. Who knows how many players we had over the years that we didn't know about. Okay, like I said, now we go. What's the future for teams that lost their minor league affiliation? Some have already announced they're already going into leagues that had partnership with MLB. That's going to be mainly going to be I think Frontier League. And I know the Prospect League for sure. The Prospect League for sure will be part of the minor league affiliated system. Not the affiliated system, but partnership. Basically, it's a form of partnership where they will continue to develop their umpires and continue to develop a few players, but usually it's going to be the local managers decide how they are played and all that stuff. Because in the minor league system, developmental, the manager is mainly to make sure that the players got their at-bats, evaluate all the players with their at-bats, how they feel, how they play on the defense on the field, and how the pitchers pitch certain pitches, and how they control their pitches, and what's their best performance between how many pitches a starting pitcher can do. Basically, starting pitchers are supposed to pitch at least 120 pitches. Starting pitchers should be able to pitch 120 pitches, and mostly reserve pitchers, relief pitchers usually they keep their pitch count pretty low so to keep their arms fresher or something like that for later games. But if they go too much, then they got to sit them out one game or something like that because they don't play because starting pitchers rotates every 4 to 5 days, depending on what's on a starting pitching rotation. Then the relief pitchers is how many innings, how many pitches they pitch, or how many innings they pitch, to determine if they're going to get another day off or they have to wait a day before they can pitch again or something like that. So, manager has to decide all that, who plays and who doesn't play on that. So that's basically it. So now, like I said, I'm gonna wrap this up here real quick here. Because I'm gonna watch a couple other videos and I gotta go to bed and that. So so it comes down to is this. All the some of the teams that lost already announced their partnership leagues already. Right now, our team is crunching numbers. They're what they call penny pitchers. Actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. My fan base here where I live, let's put it this way: they complain about $7 general admission tickets, but yet they go down someplace else where we used to play in the same league because now it's used to. They'll go someplace else, watch go watch. Our team play somebody else in another market, and they pay a higher ticket prices. They'll pay like a general admission, maybe be like $10 there, but here it's only $7. But they complain our tickets are too high, and they go someplace else and pay $3 more for general admission, and things all good. I guess a lot of people don't know how to do their math up here. Basically, I always say always find a better deal. $7. I'm lucky. At $7, I went to ballparks. I went to AA ball games, where general admission was low as $5. That tells you right there. It all depends on the market in that. So Jeffrey Boyle, how you doing in that? So yeah, how it's going to affect how we're still trying to keep baseball in our market as much as possible. It all depends what league it is. The city of Clinton really wants them to be part, as long as it's a league partnership with Major League Baseball. And if we do, the chances of seeing a future Major League star out of these towns that has, let's say, the prospect leagues and that. I heard just league wide for one season, a player has about less than 1% making the major league roster. That tells you the whole league. It's 1%. Only less than 1% makes, even just less than 1% even have a remotely chance making a major league roster of any kind, basically. So that's not good odds in a way, but still, you still got professional baseball in those markets. So we're still hoping we look into those markets and hope the league will expand to develop. But problem is, these are shorter season leagues. They're like Prospect League plays 70 games. So that's a half a season. That's normally a half a season in our old minor league agreement. That's a half a season because we play 140 games. Now you're going to play only 70. That means that's only 35 home games. So we can't pick and choose of what games we want to go. We got to take advantage of all the games we can go to, basically. And that's about we go. It's about 35, 40 games a season. Now we're going to almost have to go to all of them, almost, if we got the time to go all of them. Because some of us has to work at nights, and that's all. But I just came off an off night, so I had a nice off night tonight. So tomorrow night I gotta go in, but I might be back. I may be off in time to come back on some other time and that. But so I'll tell you what. I don't know if anyone want to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and share the link if anybody wants to talk about the minor league system. I'll just put this link on here real quick. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Copy there. I'll put it down here. If anybody wants to come on, if they can, there's the link right there. If anybody wants to pop in and talk about their minor league experience, their minor league ball teams and ball games that they gone to, pop in and say, give us your opinion on it, basically, and that. So I'm probably not going to be on very long. So if we don't get nobody to pop in, we'll just sign out in about 15 minutes or so, okay? Because I want to watch a few videos. I want to be able to watch other videos too. But if I can just have a little chat with you guys, just hit that link. If you don't need to have a webcam, as long as you have a nice solid microphone that works, be able to work, pop in and that. So feel free to pop in right now. If not, for those guys that watch this on a replay, put it down in the comments down below, basically, and that. So, at least one advantage of a shortened season is seasons don't start till like early to mid-May, and it runs all June, all July, first couple weeks of August. And you'll have probably a playoff run, and probably the playoffs will be done by early September if they do have a playoff run, any form of playoffs. but 70 games is a very short season. I prefer if they have a partner league that has 90 games, I would favor that. That's 45 games. That's 10 more home games. You can still run those pretty short, early May to almost end of August. I think that will run with a couple off days and that. So, boom. I don't know how to do that stuff, Chuck. Oh, okay, don't worry about it then. Yeah, so yeah, don't worry about that because not many people is going to be on at this hour. Uh, Actually, I was on a live stream earlier tonight where we had about 4 or 5 people, but only 2 people watching, and that. So, and we're just shooting our heads off. Didn't realize how many people was watching. It was basically nobody, that. But it tells me I got about 3 people watching. That's pretty good for me. I'm kind of happy. Oh, now 4, and that. So, and that for the ones who just chime in and I was talking about baseball talk. I'm just gonna wrap it up here real quick here. Unless you guys want to chime in, talk about your Major League Baseball has made the announcement. Technically, as of 12 hours ago, which was basically yesterday, right now, as of where in this portion of this video, made their cuts. They made their cuts. They cut 47 odd teams from the minor league system. My team, the Clinton Lumber Kings, is one of them, and 39 other teams. I was surprised and shocked, and the Chicago team got cut. And I was surprised they kept on because they were smart enough to build a new stadium because they were forced into to build a new stadium. I think we should have built a new stadium instead, but I don't know. We just renovate baseball. But Major League Baseball says, yeah, it's good, you're good, you're going to keep baseball for a while. And all of a sudden, this stuff pulls in. It's like they say one thing but do another. That's what Major League Baseball does altogether. If we keep baseball in town, but it's not with an MLB partnership league, and it's gonna have to form our own league, and it's not gonna be part of the MLB, am I gonna be attending MLB games? The answer to that will be no. Not under this current commissioner. See you later, Chuck. Go Braves. Well, I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs fan. Actually, the Cubs affiliate beat the Lumber Kings in a 3-game sweep last year on our channel. You probably saw on our channel where I showed the trophy and I said the trophy was slipping away. The South Bend Silverhawks, not South Bend Cubbies. Used to be called the Silverhawks, but they insist they want to be called Cubbies. So South Bend beat the Lumber Kings for the Midwest League Championship, 3-game sweep, and I will see some of those players on the main roster, in the Major League roster, probably within a year, probably next year, as early as next year, possibly, maybe 2022, possibly, which is good, and that. So, yeah, White Sox, the other minor league team in Chicago. That's another joke I'm gonna miss on that. We always joked about the attendance between the Cubs, the White Sox, and the Kane County Cougars. They said the Kane County Cougars outdo the White Sox, and that they were making jokes. And that was on Chicago Sports TV a few years ago. They always made jokes, but now they can't make jokes because they're not part of the minor league system. But they will be part. But they did announce they're going to be in a partnership, a league. We're going to be with a league that has a partnership with MLB, and that's what we're hoping for too. Basically, financially, if I had to pay $3 more to get into a game, like for general admission, I would pay it to keep baseball in town. If I had to pay, let's say, $1 or $2 more in the concessions, I would pay it just to. Yep, nice day, play too, and that. So, I would pay it. I think because they're revamping here in town, they're kind of revamping the parking lot at the stadium, and also They're closing a couple of railroad crossings because our town is going to go whistle free. No more whistles, train whistles going through parts of town. So there's a possibility that they may have to pay for parking down at the stadium. So you probably will see that. Oh man, you're going to see a lot of off-street parking. Problem is, people are tight with their money in this town, but if they go out of town, they cough it up. It just makes me scratch my head. Why are you complaining about the ticket prices at our ballpark, which is cheaper than most minor league ballparks, but yet you go to a place that plays in the same league, but they're more profit. They're more in line for profit than because we're just a break even operation. Now they have to think profit just to be viable. I don't know. Finances ends will be crazy. Will be crazy on the. Would really be crazy in that. So, but basically affecting how we're just hoping. I had no problem with independent baseball, just flat out independent baseball. I have attended 2 games already, and we vlogged one of them on our over on our main channel back in 2019, where we went to Chicago to see the Chicago Dogs. That was a whole independent team. I don't recall that's a partnership a team, but that's not the league that we're planning to go into because that's mostly medium and large market teams, and they do a lot of international travel. They play up in Canada. They travel in the States. They play teams in the States and a couple teams in Canada. So that's for us. That's probably not going to be viable for us. That would be, I don't know if that would be the Frontier League that does that, or is that the Northern League that does that? But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they decide on, or will they just form their own league, basically, and just invite other teams for closer travel, basically, for financial reasons and that. But just have to, but have to draft your own players and all that. That's good, and more expenses to pay the players is on the home team, and that's one thing that really that's one thing that why they're crunching numbers and see if it's going to be viable. But I'm pretty sure they told us, the front office told us here in town there will be baseball in town in some form. We'll just have to wait when they announce it and that. So as of right now, developmental baseball in my market is over. That means that's what they call the affiliated system is done. Over, out, done. It's not the first time that it happened. Actually, come to think about it, we used to had an independent league at one time back in the day. I think it was a 3I league at one time. I think that was independent. We had developmental baseball before. They were having about a couple of years of independent baseball league. I think that was the 3I league. I don't know. I have to ask some people on that part. But then the Midwest League that we was known. We were the last charter member of the Midwest League was the Clinton Lumber Kings and that Clinton Baseball Club that was better known for. But we were the last charter member, and that's it. It's over, basically. But there was always, like I said, there's always a silver, for every cloud there's a silver lining in that. So we'll see what kind of baseball we will have in town and in markets that lost their baseball franchises to the developmental league situation. So that's why I just come on, had to say my opinions on it, my thoughts on it, and that. So it's like a little rant to that, but we're just going to miss seeing drafted players, players we're going to miss players that's in the top draft picks, number 1 draft picks in the first round, first pick in a draft pick, other draft picks, high draft picks. We're going to miss high draft picks. We'll be lucky enough to see low draft picks that fails to make squads. They'll probably see some of them possible. But we ain't going to see high draft picks unless they're jerks or they underestimated a talent, a player. Maybe they miscalculate or something like that. It always happens in baseball. And they say there's no crying in baseball. Oh well, things happen. Okay, like I said, we'll hope we'll have some form of baseball. Knock on wood. And when this pandemic quiets down, hopefully we'll get to watch them play if we're allowed to go watch them play. If they do announce a team to be playing this summer. But with this pandemic, if the number stays high, I'm pretty sure they're going to wait till 2022 play, basically. But the city wants, the city got to have their tax dollars now. They're not going to wait anymore. And the city did invoke the right to revoke the lease from the Lumber Kings from the ballpark. So that means the city will have that ballpark go empty if all possible. And that, so, but we don't know. I'm hoping the city don't make that decision. Be a dumb decision if they do. If they want to keep baseball in town, they really need find what they have to find. Developmental baseball as to for us, for the 40 teams that lost baseball, that includes our Lumber Kings here in town. Basically is comes down to we're not going to see developed players no more. We will see some form players being developed, but they're going to say, hey, either you play or you don't play. You're going to play, fine, but if you goof up, we're going to bench you or something like that. We're going to do that kind of league or something like that, where basically the coach wants to win but don't want to develop or something like that. We might go to that type of baseball. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm hoping it'll be for me, hoping it'll be with some form of partnership with Major League Baseball. At least we have one outside chance to see a future star going to the major leagues if they get that opportunity to get moved up to the developmental areas of teams, the affiliated systems. They go through that whole, go through those steps to make the major leagues. It's like odds are not very good, but at least they play what they love to play, the game of baseball. All right, we're out of here. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe button, notification bell, and we'll see you guys next time. Like I said, I've been very busy on the main channel, the Angie and Chuck Show. If you have not checked it out, please check it out. We do daily vlogs there every day. It's about our daily lives. And of course, we will talk about this on an upcoming video when we heard the news. Okay, remember those videos are delayed 7 days. So what we filmed today will not be seen till next week. So we delay those videos by 7 days. And that, so that's a spoiler alert for ones who watch this channel plus the Angie and Chuck Show. So it's a little spoiler alert what we are learning as of today. That'll be on the video and that. So, all right, I gotta go cry at a river. I'm gonna I can't go to the park. I can't head down to Mississippi so I can add more water to the river and that. So, all right, we're out of here. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget that subscribe button, notification bell. We'll see you next time on Chuck Chats.